Hello everyone. So welcome to the next session in our environment and ecology part 2. And then we have only two sessions left, that is science and tech. In the last session we have talked about the flora and fauna, and then we have talked about conservation efforts at the international level. Today we'll move beyond it and we'll talk about the conservation efforts at the India level, and then we'll talk about the energy that we discussed within the ecology, natural gas in India. The first one, that is the sulfur dioxide emissions. Now one report has come, we are not concerned with that particular report. The report says that first, that in India the SO2 emissions have reduced. हाँ, ठीक है, इतना कोई, it's only 6% it has reduced. So report itself is not very important, but the sulfur dioxide emission is itself is a very important, very important. Why? The first reason is that India is the highest emitter, top emitter of the sulfur dioxide. So India still occupies the top emitter position in the fifth consecutive year by the Russia, and followed by Russia and China. So India, then Russia, then China. So this is a very, very important idea, that India is the top in the sulfur dioxide emission, because intuitively we think it is bound to be USA or China. No, it's India. 21% of the global sulfur dioxide, anthropogenic sulfur dioxide emissions are being caused by the India. Okay, so India, then Russia, then China. So China is at number 3. Very, very important. Okay, it's a colorless air pollutant and it is invisible to human eye. Very important facts. Its widespread and hazardous to human health: stroke, heart disease, asthma, lung cancer, and premature death. Air pollution, part of air pollution. Very quickly, it's a colorless, bad smelling, toxic gas, part of the larger code, sulfur dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, like that, emitted by burning of the fossil fuels, coal, oil, diesel, other material that contain the sulfur. It's a natural byproduct of the volcanic activities as well. So the source of the sulfur dioxide is both your natural process such as volcanic activity, and also the anthropogenic process such as this fossil fuel and all these things. One of the problem area with the sulfur dioxide, it itself is a problem. Sulfur dioxide itself is a problem, and plus the sulfur dioxide has the capacity, or it leads to the secondary pollutants as well. So not only it's a primary pollutant, but it causes the secondary pollutants. Okay? Secondary pollutants formed by sulfur dioxide, aerosols, particulate matter, and acid rain. So it is a primary pollutant which comes directly from the sources, and then they react with something to create the secondary pollutant as sulfur dioxide, you can say sulfuric acid, H2SO4, and other things. So sulfur dioxide is a very, very problematic area. Okay? We have discussed about the sulfur dioxide, colorless, bad smelling, and the toxic gas. It's invisible to the eyes. Now what are the steps have been taken? Report says that 6% reduction has come. So not significance, not in terms of the report, we are still the highest emitter. Steps which have been taken: we have reduced our coal dependency, renewable energy we have expanded, we have shut down the non-compliant thermal power plant, or the proposal has been there. MOEFCC has released a guideline in 2015 on the sulfur dioxide emission limits. In 2015, MOEFCC has released a guideline as well. They have said to install this fuse gas desulfurization process. It needs to be installed at the coal thermal power plants. Next is Buldhana pattern. It's not important from prelims perspective, but very, very important from GS1 perspective or GS perspective. It's a good case study. So it's a model for the water conservation. What is the idea? Basically, water conservation and the highway construction. So Niti Aayog in the process of formulating a policy of the water conservation, and it has got the national recognition based in Maharashtra. Take. So basically the idea is, you can see Uddhav Gadkari in a letter to Uddhav Thackeray has said that this Buldhana pattern needs to be replicated and adopted. The idea is the synchronization of national highway construction and the water conservation. So for the first time, Buldhana districts of the Vidarbha region, we all know Vidarbha region, very, very water deficit region, by using the soil from the water bodies, nalas, and the river. So those soil needs will be used for the highway construction. It leads to the increase in the capacity of the water storage, and came to be known as the Buldhana pattern. So the soil will be taken out, tanks will be made, and water conservation will be done, and that soil will be used for the highway construction. So win-win situation for both the things. The cost of the highway construction will reduce. They don't have to procure a lot of material from outside. They'll get it from water conservation. What are the soils coming out of it, and some storage capacity will be made, known as the Buldhana pattern. And this can become a good case study whenever you talk about, let's say, highway construction, green construction, or water conservation, Jal Jeevan Mission, on anything, water conservation as a whole, or climate change as a whole. Coming to the next topic, that is green building. What is a green building? So it is defined as a building in its design, construction, and operation, which, from the name itself, a building which reduces or eliminates. Does not mean eliminates. It does not mean a building which you still uses the conventional ways. It cannot be a green building. It can be. So it's a very subjective thing. A building which reduces, basically the idea of carbon footprints, reduces or eliminates the negative impacts, can create positive impacts on our climate and natural environment. Green building preserves the precious natural resources and improve our quality of life. So what are the features of being green building? For example, efficient use of energy, use of renewable energy, pollution, good indoor environmental air quality, use of material, non-toxic, consideration of environment in design. While designing, while constructing, you are considering all the environmental friendly behaviors. That's the main idea behind the green building. At India, obviously, it's at a very nascent stage. Benefits, obviously, social will be, pollution will be reduced, economical savings will be done on the energy bill, operation and maintenance, environmentally pleasant environment, urban heat island, for example, that you must have read. All those problems can be mitigated by such green buildings. Very important idea is that what are the steps being taken by India, and that is very, very important from the prelims perspective. Very, very important. I'm saying very, very important because climate change, green things are very, very important per se, directly. So you need to remember and you need to by heart all the steps which are being taken. Specifically, for example, ECBC, that is Energy Conservation Building Code. From 2007, this code has come for the commercial building. It has been reinforced and it has been revamped in 2017. It has been revised. This commercial building code has been created by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. In 2018, Eco Nivas Summit has happened and they have decided to come up with a code for the residential buildings as well. So first, obviously, the first starts with the commercial building, then to the residential building. But now we have code for both commercial building and the residential building. At least we have that thing done. Whether it's being done at the ground level, that's a secondary thing. But yes, we have the institutional framework getting ready. Then star rating programs for the commercial rating. For example, I recently bought a AC, right? Air conditioner. So that has star rating. We all know that. Similarly, buildings also will be star rated. And later on, concessions can be given on taxes, on electricity bill, on such buildings. That is again done by the BEE, that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Two of the rating system we will read today, that is Griha and LEED. Griha is done by TERI and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and TERI by, it's an international certification, LEED, LEED, by the US Green Building Council. And the last is Indian Green Building Council, an institution which is being made by the CIE, Confederation of Indian Industry, CII. Chalo. So Griha, two rating system that we have discussed, Griha and LEED, these two things we will discuss. The first is Griha, Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment. Griha, Green Rating for Integrated Habitat Assessment. It's a rating tool which evaluates the environmental problems of a building holistically over its entire life cycle, thereby providing a definite standard for constitutes a green building. So a more of a standardization. More importantly, developed by the Energy and the Resource Institute, TERI, and the MNRE. You can read about TERI, थोड़ा सा पढ़ लेना TERI के बारे में, ठीक है? We'll discuss it somewhere else. Very, very important institution when it comes to the environment. BEE, TERI, some of the important institutions that are there. Okay? So the TERI and the MNRE are responsible for Griha. LEED is for leadership in the energy and environmental design. Again, an international rating agency for people, planet, and profit. So it's just like fee we have discussed, right? For beaches, fee certificate. Similarly, it's an international recognized certification system for green building developed by the international hai, though US Green Building Council, not Indian. It's an international certification system. The last topic of today we'll discuss, that is the natural energy system in India, or energy system in India, and we'll discuss about the natural gas. Why it's in the news? Because cabinet has approved natural gas marketing reform. Marketing reforms is very slowly, will some very brief ideas there, but we need to know about the natural gas. Obviously part of your static syllabus, but just to reiterate it. चलो जल्दी जल्दी देखते हैं. So natural gas is a mixture of hydrocarbon consist of methane, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. The reserves are being found deep inside the earth with other solid and liquid hydrocarbons such as coal and crude oil. So along with that, it is being found. It is not used in its pure form. Very quickly. So what it is, a mixture of gases which are rich in hydrocarbon. Okay. Deep inside the earth, it is found near the hydrocarbon beds like coal and crude. Not used in the pure form, it is being processed and converted into a cleaner fuel. इसका यूज कहाँ होता है, where it is being used? Now it is very important that natural gas is being used for the creation of the fertilizer. And one of the problem area of the fertilizer sector is also because of the lack of the natural gas energy reforms, marketing reforms. Fuel for the electricity generation, cooking fuel and transportation fuel, natural gas economy. Now Mr. Modi's vision, our prime minister vision, is to create a gas based economy. Currently natural gas comprises of only 6.2% of overall of our energy mix. देखो इस तरीके के स्मॉल डायग्राम्स यू नीड टू क्रिएट योर ओन. इससे क्या होगा, इट विल हेल्प यू टू हैव एन स्नैपशॉट ऑफ एवरीथिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू कि नेचुरल गैस इन अवर होल एनर्जी मिक्स ओनली 6.2% वी आर यूजिंग नेचुरल गैस. The vision of India is to take from 6.2 of the total to 15% of the total. So from 6.2 to 15% by 2030, and India will become a gas-based economy. Now, out of the total energy use, this is the overall. 48% we procure domestically and 52% we import. So ठीक है, not as per the crude oil, जहाँ पे we have to import 80% of our needs. So 48% we are taking from the domestic sources. ठीक, एक बात तो ये हुई. But the global average in the natural gas is 24%, means the globally countries are using 24% of their energy needs from the natural gas. So very, very important that thing also. The prices are two type of prices can be seen: administered price mechanism, and second is the non-administered price mechanism. Administered price mechanism means, administered means the government decides the rate. It is not based upon supply and demand, not market decided. And out of this 48% that we procure domestically, the 80% side of it is that administered. So after six months, government revises the rate. So that is the 6 month, at the 6 month interval. And this is the weighted average of the prevailing prices in UK, USA, Canada, and Russia. So 80% of domestic production, 6 month period, and weighted average of the prevailing prices, USA, UK, Canada, and Russia. ठीक. Non-administered price 20% of the domestic production and the contractual agreement that is there. ठीक. So now the reforms are to restructure this system, making it based upon the market supply demand. That is the main idea. So you need to understand the previous structure. The next structure that will come, that will make it more clear, but that will be done later on. Quickly let us revise. Domestically produced natural gas contributes only to the 40% needs, our needs. The presence in the oil and the gas field in the natural, and कहाँ पे पाए जाएंगे? In the Western Ghats and the southeastern areas, Hazare Basin, Mumbai offshore, KG Basin, Bombay High and all. Pricing we have discussed, 80% administered है और 20% is the contract basis पे है. New reforms will be done by improving all this system. Now, very quickly, the last topic, the last portion of our discussion. Yes. So these are the areas you can see, the जहाँ पे भाई crude oil, वहीं पे ये area. So some of the offshore areas that are there, right? And some of the areas in the Assam Arakan belt, Western Ghat area, all these areas. And then pipelines are being made. These pipelines, you can see existing pipelines, right? So these are the existing pipelines. These are the new pipelines which is being informed, which being created. The idea is to one nation, one grid. That is the idea to create the for the becoming the gas-based economy. From police perspective, we need to know about the natural gas. Natural gas के बारे में पता होना चाहिए, about the properties of it, how it is used, the usage of it, where it is found. Secondly, from police perspective, we need to know how much India uses natural gas and what is the pricing mechanism. That's all. That's all from the prelims perspective. From the mains perspective, other things that are more important. So that's all for today's session. We'll see you in the next session. We'll finish science and tech and we'll finish the October month and we'll quickly move on to the November month current affairs. See you all in the next class. Thank you everyone. Bye-bye.